Hi, I'm back for another episode, and I hope you're with me and joining me, Robin Hackett, here. My journey as a Queen-Ager. I really love that term. We talked about that in the last episode. Queen-Ager. I'm talking about how I moved to New York. And the thing that's interesting about that is that I did it. I took the leap, and I encourage you all to take your leap. Identify what your dream is, and taking the leap doesn't mean that there's not going to be fear. No, it doesn't mean that. It means that you do it anyway. We've heard that before, where you take that big leap. And I took that big leap and I moved to New York, and I found an apartment, and kind of everything opened up for me. It fell into my lap. The apartment fell into my lap. A job fell into my lap. It was like all these synchronistic things happened. Yes. And this was my big return, where I was going to now pursue those things that I didn't pursue before, which one of them was Broadway. Like, I had this whole thing about Broadway when I was younger because, I'm a folk singer, and then soon became a jazz singer as well too. But back then, when I was auditioning for Broadway, if you were African American, it was really more, you had to do gospel, you had to be able to do R&B, and that was not in my bag of tricks at all. So I did not audition for Broadway. I was like, there's no place for me. But now that I'm a Queen-Ager, and I came back to New York to pursue that as well, let me tell you, when it was time to hit that button and say that I was signing up for an audition, girl, froze. I froze. And it literally took my boyfriend to say, hit the button now, hit it, commit. I can actually feel what it felt like in my body just right now, how scared I was to hit that button. But I knew that when you take a leap, you're facing sometimes these old fears come up that you didn't even realize were living there. So moving back to New York, my first couple of years, it took me 2 years, maybe a year, that's wrong. It took me a year to actually get out and sing, because I got here and I was like, oh my God, what have I done? I'm too old for this. I went there, girl. I'm too old for this. I had a hard time going up and down those subway stairs. When you're a youngster, that is nothing. I was like, oh my God. So that was one other aspect that was crazy as well too. And the apartment that I moved into was on the 3rd floor. Do you think that was easy for a girl to go up and down those stairs? No, it was not. But I was committed, and we'll talk more about, other things that happened for me. But I did, listen to this, I did go to therapy. I went to therapy for the first 2 years that I was here in New York, to face all these fears that I didn't think were there. Even after I took the leap, there were these fears there. So I guess this episode is really about, you take the leap, you do it anyway, in spite of your fears, and those fears will be there. And then you work through them and you keep going anyway. So now, it's 4 years later, I'm still here, still doing my thing, and I've expanded and I've grown, and I'm really thrilled about that. And I'm thrilled about the fact that I get to be a Queen-Ager, and I get to pass this knowledge on to younger women. I seem to have befriended some younger people that are in their 40s, and that's interesting for me. That's interesting for me to share my knowledge with them, but they also have things to share with me, and I appreciate that, because they're a different generation and I look at things differently, and sometimes I go, oh, wow, that's interesting. But on the whole, they share with me things that I've been through already that I can talk to them about and address with them. So identify what your dream is. You got to take some big leap, you guys. Maybe it's in your small hometown and you want to be an actress, and you go to community theater and audition for something, or you hire an acting coach. It doesn't matter what level. We can all be really afraid, even if it is just hiring an acting coach or a singing coach or whatever it is. It can bring up all kinds of fears. But the moral of the story is keep walking, keep going, keep going. It turns out the bigger the risk I've found in my life, because I've done a lot of crazy things that people think are crazy, the bigger the reward. So the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. So that's it. I hope you're walking through your fears. I hope that you are taking a big leap towards your dream. And hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you're doing, what's going on, what have you faced, what have you overcome. That's more so. Okay, we will see you next episode. This is Robin Hackett signing off. Bye.